staring because they just can't believe that you are even gonna give me a chance.
bensound.com.
I'm on the stairs, I'm at our house. You say you'll be right down, and I am struggling to take a deep breath or slow my heart down. Can't seem to process you in that white dress. It's so scary, 'cause you are out of my league. It's so obvious to everyone. Kids keep staring because they just can't believe that you are even gonna give me a chance. It was so scary, 'cause you were out of my league. It was so obvious to everyone else. Now everybody's staring because they just can't believe that we are dancing our last first dance.
bensound.com. bensound.com. bensound.com.
One hour, counting down.
bensound.com.
Hello, everyone. My name is Carly Barnhill, and I am the Communications and Outreach Director for the Hollywood Fringe. Welcome to our marketing and ticketing workshop. My pronouns are she, her, and I'll give you a visual description. I am a white woman with auburn hair, wearing glasses, and a white button-up shirt in front of a white closet and door. So we have some great folks here today that are going to give you all of their expertise on marketing and ticketing. But before we get to everything, I just have a few announcements that I'm going to run through. First, I just want to acknowledge that we are on a live stream on Facebook, and we're also recording this for our YouTube channel. So feel free to turn your camera on or off, depending on what you're comfortable with. take a break whenever you need to today, do whatever you need to do. We would love it if everyone would rename yourself on Zoom with your first name and your pronouns, which I'm going to make sure that I have done. Yes, I have. Great. So if you have any accessibility needs that are not being met, please don't hesitate to reach out to any member of the Fringe staff. We have Kevin and Lois with us here today. We will do our best to accommodate. And if you need an interpreter for any of our upcoming events, just email support@hollywoodfringe.org 72 hours in advance of any event, and we will schedule an interpreter. For all of our in-person events, we do have interpreters, just as an FYI. So before we begin, I'm just going to take a quick moment to do a land acknowledgement. A land acknowledgement is a formal statement that recognizes and honors the Indigenous peoples of the land that we presently reside and or work on. The Hollywood Fringe acknowledges that we are on the unceded lands of the Tongva, Quiche, Gabrielinos, and Gabrielinos. Our statement serves as a practice as we commit to furthering our connection to the Indigenous communities, past, present, and emerging. So I'm going to jump into upcoming workshops and town halls and events to be aware of. So we have tons of educational and networking events on this year's schedule, all designed to help you have a successful Fringe. All of our events are listed on our blog, which we are going to drop a link to in the chat right now. New this year, we also have a calendar where you can directly download all of our upcoming events, which is at hollywoodfringe.org/calendar. So we have town halls, which are hybrid, in-person and live streamed, and are recorded for YouTube. So these are the informational sessions where Lois and Ellen, our Hollywood Fringe co-directors that I'm sure you have all seen by now, will give you the download of everything that you need ahead of the Fringe. So we've already had one that I highly recommend you watch. The recording is on our YouTube channel at Hollywood Fringe. And we will also have another one on Saturday, April 15th at the Hudson and live streamed. Highly recommend you attend that. It's going to give you everything you need to know leading into the festival. Workshops and panels like this one today are on Zoom and live stream, and we also record these and put them on YouTube after. So if you've missed any, you can check them all out on our YouTube channel. Festival Expectations is our only workshop that will also be in person. But all of these workshops are where you hear from experienced Fringe veterans, like the ones that we'll have today, on specific topics. So past workshops that you can catch on YouTube are focused on accessibility, anti-racism, fundraising and budgeting, immersive theater, and you can catch all of those whenever you want, and from past years as well. So we also have our marketing and ticketing workshop today, which we're in, and then we have 2 more workshops in this series coming up, which are How to Tech Your Fringe Show on Sunday, April 2nd, and Festival Expectations on Saturday, April 29th. We have also had one virtual web session, the recording is also on YouTube, about how to navigate our platform on our website pre-festival. We will have another one of these web sessions on Zoom on Tuesday, May 2nd, which is going to focus on how to navigate our website and platform during the festival for things like ticketing and messaging and will call and all that kind of stuff. So highly recommend you attend that if you are not familiar with our platform. Office hours begin this week on Wednesday, March 29th, our first office hours of the festival season. It will be from 7 to 10 p.m. this Wednesday at the Broadwater Plunge. This is such an amazing opportunity to meet fellow Fringers, network, make friends, and start asking questions to staff in person and really start marketing your show. We highly, highly encourage participants come to as many office hours as they're able to. So those will be every Wednesday at different locations, which we will be announcing soon. But this week is from 7 to 10 at the Plunge. And for those of you who are out of town or can't make it to office hours but want to continue networking online, we have 3 online speed networking events. So we have Thursday, April 20th from 7:30 to 9:30 p.m., Monday, May 1st from 7:30 to 9:30 p.m., and Monday, May 22nd from 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. So those are our events, which you can catch on the blog, like I said. But speaking of dates, I just want to run through really quickly important festival dates just to make sure everybody has them. So registration's open, as I'm sure you all know, closes April 1st if you want to be printed in the printed guide. So make sure you register by like a week from today if you want to be in the printed guide. You must purchase your ads and have your listings complete with your venues by April 20th for our printed guide. Our staff is going to drop a link for more information on ads in the chat, which we are also going to talk about later. But April 20th is that really important date that you need to know for printed guide listings and ads. Tickets go on sale May 1st. Previews are June 1st through 6th. Our opening night party is June 7th. June 8th through 25th are our festival dates, and June 25th is our awards and closing night party. So like I said, you can find all of this on our events blog, and we will continue to send updates on our weekly newsletter. Once you are registered, you should be receiving our weekly newsletter. But if you aren't, you can always subscribe on our website, www.hollywoodfringe.org. And in the top right corner, there's a tab that says newsletter. You can click that and it'll let you subscribe. So let's talk about our code of conduct really quick. So we don't have many rules at the Fringe, but we do take our code of conduct super seriously. So if you register as a project, you and your team are held accountable for your actions as you participate in our festival. That applies not only to in-person, but also digital spaces as well, like today's event. We are 100% committed to creating an inclusive environment in support of our participants. Our festival is built on the freedom of expression and lack of censorship, which means we must maintain the utmost respect for one another to create a safe space for people to take risks in their work. So we do not allow microaggressions, verbal and physical intimidation, hate speech, harassment, sexual harassment, assault, excessive consumption of alcohol and other illegal substances, aggressive behavior. As you're navigating the festival, we really want everyone to be really mindful of intention versus the impact that you make on people and your public versus private interactions. If a member of the Fringe staff comes to you about a complaint, please take it seriously. If our code of conduct isn't followed, your time at Fringe may come to an end. And if you witness anything, please do not hesitate to report it to any Fringe staff member as soon as possible. You can message us on the Zoom if you have any issues, or you can always at all times email conduct@hollywoodfringe.org. Thank you so much for honoring our code of conduct and in doing so, respecting our community and our festival. So let's just run through a couple more things. Final announcements. Follow us on social media at Hollywood Fringe, like us on Facebook, use hashtag HFF23. That will start marketing your shows and everything that we're going to be doing during the festival. Email at support@hollywoodfringe.org with any questions as you move along. We are always there to help you. Any question you have, feel free to email to us. And during this panel, we will have a Q&A towards the end if you want to ask any questions to the panelists. But if you have any questions during the panel that come up, feel free to drop them in the chat and our staff will get to them if they're not directed towards the panelists. And if you're on Facebook, hello to everyone on Facebook, feel free to send your questions over and our staff will bring them from Facebook to Zoom so that we can make sure our panelists get them. Okay, I totally sped through that. Everything should be in the links that our staff sent. If you have any questions, let us know. But I really want to give as much time to our panelists as possible. So let's start by introducing our panel. Full disclosure, I work on the staff that produces the Hollywood Fringe Festival as a whole, but I have not produced an individual Fringe show. So our panelists here today are really the experts on producing at Fringe. So let's meet them now. Let's start with introductions. We're going to have our panelists share name, pronouns, visual description, and then just a little bit of insight into background and experience with Fringe. Bonnie, you want to start us off?
Oh yeah, let's look them up. Hi, my name is Bonnie He. My pronouns are she, her. Visual description. I am an Asian American woman with dark brown hair that's still curled because I haven't washed it in 3 days. Fun fact. I'm wearing a white sweatshirt with my show patch, a terrible show for terrible people logo on the iron-on. And then my background is the Zoom background of the Northern Lights because my place is too messy to be seen on camera.
Amazing. Ruby,
Oh,
you want
sorry. Oh, wait, sorry, you wanted the
Oh
involvement?
yeah, tell us about your experience and what you've done with Fringe.
Yes, so I was our Fringe participant in 2022. In fact, all of the panelists are. I won the diversity scholarship, was one of the scholarship recipients. Also won best comedy at Fringe last year. I did 5 shows at the Fringe last year, and I managed to sell out 4 of the 5, and I was able to also sell out my encore as well. So
Yay. Thank you, Bonnie. Ruby, you want to go next?
Sure. My name is Ruby Merez, also known as Ramon. That's my drag king alter ego. Ruby's pronouns are she, her. Ramon's are he, him, they. Ramoncito. My physical description, I'm dressed as Ruby right now. So I have medium length brown wavy hair that is mostly uncombed. I'm a white passing Latinx person. I am sitting I'm wearing a black sweater. I'm in a house I'm dog sitting. So behind me is a wall with beautiful art and north facing light. Okay. So my involvement last year, I also was a Hollywood Fringe Scholarship winner and went on to win Best Immersive in Games from the Fringe community. I also won Fringe Runway. So if you do the Fringe Runway show this year, take it seriously. I don't know why I took it seriously. I think it's because my mother dressed me my entire life. So I didn't start really dressing myself till college, which sounds crazy unless you're Latina, and then you might understand parental controls. So I just took it seriously, and I worked with my costume designer, and I created a whole dance routine, and that was really fun. I also won the Encore Award. I can't remember how many of my shows sold out. I think like the Encore sold out, and then like 1 or 2 in my run, I had maybe 6 shows or 7. It's a little foggy. It's been almost a year. But yeah, and also my show was a solo show, but it was immersive and interactive with the audience, and it featured my drag king. And this was one of my merch items, the Ramon show, and it had my Instagram there, so people could easily find my show and find out more info about the Fringe. But we can talk more about that later. Okay.
Yay. Thanks, Ruby. And yeah, we'll get into Runway, but amazing marketing opportunity right at the start of the festival. So Ben, would you like to go?
Yeah, hi. My name's Ben Morosky. My pronouns are he, him, and my visual description, I'm a white man. I have dark brown hair and a beard. I'm wearing a dark gray Henley, and my background is an off-white room with some sound paneling over my left shoulder and some plants over my right. I've produced at the Hollywood Fringe 4 times, going back to all the way back to 2012. I produced my solo play Dog this past Fringe. I've been nominated for Top of the Fringe twice. I've been nominated for 3 LA Drama Critics Circle Awards for my Fringe plays. I've won 2 Stage Raw Awards for my Fringe plays, and Dog sold out every show that it ran, added 2 performances, and sold out both its encores.
Awesome. Thanks, Ben. So as you guys can see, we've got a really good panel today. We're going to get into, first I want to talk a little bit about ticketing, and then we'll get into more marketing. So just to start with ticketing, to everyone who's in the room, we will get into a lot more detailed logistics and how-tos when it comes to ticketing and comps at our April 15th town hall and in our May 2nd web session. So today's going to be more of a general overview and advice on ticketing, but all of the questions about actually managing your ticketing on the platform, we will answer those in future sessions. So I do want to touch on things generally. Note when selling tickets, 50% of your tickets must be sold through the Hollywood Fringe site. So half of your house size must be available on our site. But you can use third-party platforms for the other half or however many if you prefer to do that. I want to note that on our platform, 100% of your ticket sales do go back to you. Some third-party platforms might take a cut of your ticket. So just something to be aware of when you're exploring those options. You can also sell all of your tickets on our site. So just know that you have those options, but that's our general rule. So I'd love to talk quickly about average ticket prices and what you all recommend setting ticket prices at. The average ticket price at Fringe is generally $10 to $12, depending on cast size. What do you all recommend setting ticket prices at? And with this year, we again have potential for in-person and digital for those who want to do digital. So do you recommend setting prices the same for two different types of audiences? What do you all recommend? Whoever wants to jump in can go.
I can speak to this. So what's also great about the ticketing system is that you can create your own discount codes. And so that's like a really important thing. And so I chose to think what was the ticket price I wanted after the discount code. So I set my prices at, I believe, at $12, and I always had $2 discounts with specific codes depending on like what medium I was advertising in. So my price would be like 12 to 10. You know, and about like half people use a discount code, half people don't. The other thing about the discount code is that you can create as many as you want. And so it actually helps you keep track of where you're getting the most traction. For instance, on my postcards, I would have like, oh, my show is called A Terrible Show for Terrible People. And so on my postcards, it would be like terrible postcard, terrible flyer. And it could be the same amount. It would all be like $2 off. But then I would know what was getting traction. Like on my Insta, it'd be like terrible Insta. So it's a good way to do discounts. And I know we're not talking about discounts yet, but just that was all intertwined. But yeah, for me, it was about $12 and $10 with discount.
Bonnie, that is so genius. I wish I thought of that. I would definitely recommend having a different price for virtual and in person. That's just my personal opinion. My venue did have 2 cameras that switch back and forth for virtual, but it was still so far away. And, you know, the camera couldn't zoom in and zoom out for my show. So, and sometimes the audio just didn't work. And we didn't know that at the time. We didn't have anybody. I thought there was a person operating and like listening on Zoom to see if there are any issues, but there wasn't. So if you do virtual shows, please hire somebody to be the person on Zoom that knows how to fix audio issues. They probably won't be able to fix issues related to camera because they'll be inside the theater and we can't interrupt the show while it's going on. But at least you'll know, because I got feedback later from friends and I felt so guilty. They were like, yeah, like the audio cut in and out. And that might have also just been at my venue because I had a wireless headset and a microphone and music because my show was interactive. So I had the microphone for the audience to talk into. I had my own wireless headset. And then I had another mic on me to record the shows. So it might have just been too much of a good thing happening. We could not figure it out all 9 shows. It kept being the beast that was unsolvable. But I definitely recommend also because virtual, it's just a little bit more removed, right? And it's a little less effort than like driving and parking and coming to the show. So I think a cheaper ticket is fair. I would say for pricing, which I did not do, which now I've done, figure out the cost of your actual show, especially if you have props or you give away things in your show, and go from there. I don't think $20 is too much for a show. I saw a show yesterday at UCB that was $20 and it was interactive. And, you know, they had props for the audience to play with that, like, once they got used, that's it. They're not able to be used anymore. So take that into consideration, be an actual producer, and like, don't hurt yourself too much financially. You probably won't make bank on your show, but at least give yourself the best shot of recouping some of the costs you put in.
I guess one thing that I would add is that I wouldn't charge, this is just my opinion, I wouldn't charge less than $10 or $12. I think it's important to value yourself and your work and to give the audience, impart that to the audience that you value your work. I also would say if you're going to have an option of, if you're going to add like a pay what you can or free option, in my experience, I've always set it to pay what you can rather than free, because people are likely to at least give you a couple bucks, which is great. Obviously, if you want to have a free option, that's totally up to you. But why not see if they'll give you a couple bucks, and if they want to come for free, that's great too.
I want to add to that and say like free is good, but it's like a psychological thing. I feel like where people don't value free and then they will flick out, like because it is LA. But if they like have to pay just like $1 or two, then I feel like they've invested in it. So they're more likely to come, even if they only put in like $1 or two. So that's just my 2 cents.
Totally agree.
Awesome. Yeah, that's really good. I want to circle back to what Bonnie was talking about with comps. So I want to ask all of you, do you give out a lot of discounts and comps? And if so, when do you do that? Do you tend to give more comps during previews to entice and kind of get word of mouth going? And do you do specific discounts for specific groups of people, kind of like Bonnie was saying on the flyer versus on something else? How did you all go about that during your runs?
Sorry, Bonnie. I'm definitely pretty liberal with comps, especially during my preview. I think, at least in my experience, it can be very helpful and important to try to sell out your preview as best as you can, just to try to generate buzz around the show. And so if I need to comp more people into that show, I definitely choose that as an investment, in the show. So yeah, so I definitely would comp it. And if you're going to comp, I would focus on comping the preview or important people, of course.
100% agree with that for sure. The preview is, just keep in mind, there's the previews that happen before the opening night, and then other shows after opening night. If you can get a lot of people to see your preview, and by the time you get to the opening night party, you will feel like you're so much in better hands if you already know a bunch of other people and go see other people's shows during the preview. So that's when you can meet the most people. So when you're going to this big party, it doesn't feel like so isolating, like you have like a lot of people at your disposal. And the other thing that I would highly recommend is doing comp swaps with other artists. I felt that I was pretty successful at that. Like I said, LA is pretty flaky, but with the way I did it, I was able to get like 90+% of people that said they were going to come to my show actually came to my show. And how I would do it, so just logistically speaking, so there's the discount codes, and a lot of people want to give like a $0 discount code, but you can't control how many times that code is used. So instead of doing that specifically for your comp swaps, there's a different section in the website, I don't know it offhand right now, where you can enter specifically a comp and you can enter their email to send them that comp. Network with the other shows, especially anyone that comes to the office hours are going to be people who are just available in LA and really care about their show. And so those are the people that are most likely going to come to your show. When you do comp swaps, I would just get everyone's email and I would do like actually a reminder for everyone 2 days before, because it's LA, and I think people do have the best of intentions, but people get very busy. So I would send them a reminder 2 days before the show, and I would always give them options to bail. And then people feel like less bad about it. But I would just say, hey, just a reminder, I know you guys are busy. My show is in 2 days. If for some reason you forgot about it and you can't make it anymore, that's cool. Here are the other days. Tell me, so then the ticket doesn't go to waste, and then you can switch shows. Or you can never talk to me again, which is fine. And because I gave those options and didn't get like offended when people like stuff would come up, people would often ask me to like switch dates and come to a later date, and it was really cool. Like honestly, like over 90% of the people that said they were coming actually came. And so I found that to be very very good tactic.
Oh my God, Bonnie, I wish we were closer friends. So I have done that. Here's what I did that went wrong. Good to have all sides of the story. I did not do that. And I also did not oversell my show. I reduced the seats in my show because mine was a standing, moving, dancing show. And I was, so like whatever version of the pandemic we were in, where we're all being masked, and I wanted to be cognizant of that. So I took away like 25 seats in my show, and I kind of undersold my show, not thinking oversell it because you're giving so many comps away and people are going to flake, but you won't be losing money because those people will be. So if you can, oversell your show by like 5 tickets, because 5 people will probably flake out per show. And if not, there's always room to add more seats, or sitting on the sides. I sit on the sides for a lot of the shows, especially because there were shows where I got comped from other fringers, and I didn't want to take away from like the best seats from people that paid. And I agree, having like discounts for previews and for very important people, and maybe casting directors that you want to come in. And the reminder email, that's so genius, Bonnie. I did not do that. I just kept being like, day of, being like, they promised they would come to the show. I told certain people they couldn't come because I had already comped them. So you don't want that feeling. So I love that idea of sending a reminder email and being like, hey, if you want to swap, tell me. And if you don't, I'll never speak to you again. Great, smart.
You give people options. Oh, sorry,
Yeah,
just
give people
I want to add to that.
options. Yeah.
I want to add to that, that so there's emails, but there's also a messaging system within the website itself where you can send a message to everyone that has bought a ticket. And so I would also do that to remind people and then give them the same options, just so they were aware of that.
And did
Oh,
it send it to people that you comp to, right? Because they were in the email system?
Yeah, so I sent emails to people that had like emails for, and everyone else that bought a ticket through the system, you could send a message through the system to remind them. I feel like I did that. I feel like I did that, and I gave them the same option of like, hey, reminder, you have a ticket to this, so please like come or tell me that you want to, because I think, oh, you know what's great about the Hollywood Fringe is that you have total control of your own ticketing. So you can also generate refunds as well. Or maybe you couldn't, but they could email Hollywood Fringe. Again, maybe this is the last year policy because, you know, COVID was a thing and people would get COVID last minute. So I would definitely check, but I did have a few people that couldn't come because they caught COVID. And so I asked them to message Hollywood Fringe and they were able to get a refund. And then they took those tickets away from my system, and so I could like resell them. So just make sure that there's basically like there's communication with your audience, and so you can have the control over all your tickets. I'm sorry, I cut you off, Ben.
Oh, no, it's totally fine. I was just going to add, and I think this is ticketing adjacent at least. Be cognizant of how big of a space you're booking. I think it's great to be confident in your ability to draw audience, but it is also, and this, I guess this is jumping a little bit to marketing, it's also a fun marketing tool to be able to say that you sold out and to generate buzz that way. So I've always booked a fairly small theater, and that's allowed me to sell out, which again is a fun marketing tool during the festival as well. So, and to me, it's just less stress of of feeling like, because one year I did a 2-hander and we were in a bigger space, and it was definitely like, it was an adventure. There was a lot of audience, but it's definitely an adventure if you're in a bigger space.
Can I say that, like, yeah, what Ben did was like genius. So Ben had the studio at the Broadwater. I was in the Black Box. The studio is about 20 seats ish, right? Like Black Box is 50.
Yeah, 28.
28. Okay. So so Ben had 5 shows and he sold out all 5 that he had to add to, which I think he said is intro. And that's something I thought that I was going to try to do. I personally could not do the studio just because of the nature of my physical comedy show. And I was very audience interactive, so I didn't think the studio was the right space. But I was really bummed about that because it was there were less seats. So the next one up from the theater I wanted was 50 seats, and that gave me such anxiety because I was like, if I'm doing 5 shows, like $250 I have to get in the door. So it is something you should be, just really think about that.
And the other thing I'll add for comps is you can give comps to people who like work for your show. So I needed some help with like my merch table and the ticketing table for people to get checked in, check backs cards. And because other friends were like, I'd love to come. Do you have any tickets left? And sometimes I'd be like, I don't, but if you want to do box office, that'd be great. And then you can come in for free. So consider that also before you give away all your tickets, that like, no, I need like some help and support. And everyone, I did it for tons of people. I did cleanup for people's shows. I did setup because it's a huge undertaking. So like the more hands you can get, and many hands make light work. So yeah.
Yeah, that's a great point. And on comp swaps, I would just add like, you also get to see really cool theater too. And producing theater isn't cheap. And so then you don't have to spend as much money seeing shows, and you're also getting people to come into your show. So that was really great to bring up. I want to go back to a little bit of what Ben was saying. And I know you all kind of already answered this, but how do you set expectations when it comes to ticketing so that you have a successful experience? So setting expectations on audience size and setting realistic goals when you're budgeting for your show with your audience. Any advice on that?
Can you rephrase the question?
Yeah. So how do you set expectations when you're building your show and budgeting for your show on audience size? So how do you, kind of like what Ben was saying with, booking a smaller theater and then having to add shows as opposed to booking a really large space and not being able to fill the space? How do you build that into, how do you set realistic audience goals when you're budgeting for your show? And how do you set expectations for how you're going to fill your audience when it comes to marketing?
My thought has long been that there's definitely, the great thing about Fringe is that there is a built-in audience who comes to Fringe, but don't take it for granted, as far as you still have to work to get people in. So I think setting the expectation of still needing to do things like go to office hours and try to sell out your preview and focus on these little things, and potentially booking, obviously for specific shows, like Bonnie was saying, you do what your show needs, but yeah, just have reasonable expectations, and then if you exceed them, that's a great problem to have.
This might sound strange, but I'm an energy person. We all are. But like when I was picking the theater, I was like, I needed a theater kind of in the round, or that felt like a hug, because the whole show is about feeling safe and us feeling like we can physically do things like move our arms and dance around. So that's what I looked for. And the space that I chose happened to be on the smaller size, 50-seater. And also it allowed me to do, they had 3 disco balls that they could hang for me, and they had all these cool lights, and I could have my bubbles in there. And a lot of other spaces were like, no, we want none of that in our space. So I picked it based on what the space was offering and what they wanted to do for the show, and also energetically how it felt. And that can sound corny, but I'm a big believer that like what the energy is of each theater, like what it gives to your show, and physically how it would allow my audience to move around without feeling like they were smashing into each other. I also kept doing this thing where like I used Instagram every day of the Fringe, and I would take photos because I had swag bags. So I put the swag bags on the seats and show what the theater would look like when people would enter, and be like, who wants to be in one of these seats? Or like, guess what's in the bag? You have to come to the show. So I did a lot of like teasers to get people in the show, especially because people knew I was doing this character at festivals, but they didn't know what I was doing at festivals. And I was like, you finally can come and see it without having to camp out in the desert for 4 days. So I would say, like, in terms of, it's not just financial budget, it's like what energetically is pouring into your show, or physically, like Bonnie was saying, like she chose a theater that helped her physical comedy for the show. I would take that into consideration, as well as the financial aspect and how many seats. And I agree, it's very fun to be like, my show sold out. Or Kevin came to one, he was like, you sold out. And I was like, that's the second time I've done that. That has not been what's happened for every show. But yeah, it finally sold out.
Awesome. That's actually a really, really good segue, what you were saying, into marketing. So as I said, we're going to go over all the ticketing specifics in our town hall and in our web session. So make sure to tune into those and you'll learn how to navigate the platform and a lot of what Bonnie was saying with how you can email people and that kind of thing. So we're going to talk about marketing now. So when it comes to marketing, you are responsible for marketing your individual show. We, as a Hollywood Fringe staff, market the festival as a whole. So we have pole signs that you'll see all over Hollywood. We send out like general festival press releases. We work on getting business partners in the area involved with the festival. And then we have our printed guide, which we put in local businesses with all of the show listings. So really quick on our printed guide. You must register by April 1st to be included in our printed guide. We're also going to be sending participant emails starting April 1st. So you will want to make sure you're registered by then to make sure that you don't miss any of the early emails that are going out. The good news is, announcement, we got a printer extension this year. So for this year, you are able to buy printed guide ads until April 20th, as long as you have, one, booked a venue and they have made their deal on the Hollywood Fringe website, and two, paid your $300 registration fee to be part of the festival. April 20th is our final due date that we are extending to get your venue and your listing details squared away for the printed guide. And that includes purchasing and uploading ads as well. Make sure before you buy your ads that you are registered for the festival because you get a participant discount for 50% off. So you can purchase digital ads anytime leading up to the festival, but printed ads you want to purchase by April 20th. We have all sorts of templates and information on our website, which I believe Kevin is dropping in the chat. hollywoodfringe.org/ads has templates and all of the information, and then you can purchase them at hollywoodfringe.org/market. This also has a bunch of templates for Canva, which if you have not used Canva, it's a completely free design software that you can use for marketing materials. You can make postcards and social media posts and all types of stuff. But again, just emphasizing April 20th is a super important date. If you get all of your information into us by then, we will have your listing and your ads in the printed guide, which you're really going to want to have because we'll have those in coffee shops and restaurants all over the city that people can pick up and see your show times and your show description and all of that kind of stuff. So first, I just want to touch on marketing budget. How do you factor marketing into your budget when you're producing your show? Is it a large amount of your budget? Is it a small amount of your budget? What percentage of your budget are you spending on marketing?
I should, but don't live in a percentages world. But I definitely spent a chunk in marketing. And I think the virtual ad space was more beneficial for my show. I think because I had a visual logo and my drag king's face was like, you know, on the flyer and everything. People kept saying like, oh yeah, I saw your ad on the Fringe website. And if you win the Fringe runway, you get like, I think 500 or 1,500 more click ads. I also knew that, which is why I was like, we got to win this Fringe runway, girl. We don't have money. So, like, we have to like definitely get that. And I did do the printed guide, which I loved. Mine got printed out funny because there was too much red. So like be just aware. I didn't know that going into that, like red and purples might bleed more in the printed guide. So if you have a lot of red and purple, maybe consider altering it a bit. Or it might have just been mine, you know, it was Adobe. I don't know. I didn't do that great of a job, but I would say like have the same like logo and like visual for all of your marketing material. Bonnie has a great one that it just pops in your eye every time you see it. And it was the same kind of like terrible show for terrible, you know, you couldn't ignore her branding. And I've never taken that kind of stuff seriously until my graphics guy was like, you need to take this seriously. Like branding is everything. And on a additional note, if you have a car, consider wrapping your car in vinyl with your show info. That's what I did. I put the QR code for the Hollywood Fringe on my car. I live an hour and a half from Hollywood. So I was like, we're going to be on the road a lot. I pulled up opening night and closing night, parked right in front of
I will never forget standing outside for opening night and you driving up in your car. And it was like the most awesome marketing for your show. It was so memorable.
And I'm a very shy person. Like I had no stickers on my car before this, but in my head, I was like, go hard. Like this is Hollywood. There's no shame. People do crazy stuff here for attention and like you have to compete. And also, like Ben said, like I believe in my show. I want a lot of people to see it. And if they're like, wow, that's ballsy or not ballsy, very brave of you to deck out your car and go that hard on it. Like, yeah, that's how much I believe in the show. So, and definitely like getting the same logo over and over again. And if you have it on stickers, I think stickers that are waterproof really work well with like mine this used to be my show sticker with the QR code. And then after Hollywood Fringe ended, I just snipped off the QR codes. Now it just looks like a fun little Ramon sticker. But I made new ones with the show logo and the Instagram so that people always have a place to go to check out future shows. Because even if people don't come to your Fringe show, if they like your marketing or they like what you're offering, like they'll go check out your Insta or your website for future shows.
Awesome.
I also, like Ruby, don't live in a percentages world, and I also probably should. But I definitely devote a significant chunk to marketing. If you are able to in your budget, I've always hired a publicist. There's very little press left out there, it seems like, for the Hollywood Fringe. At least in my recent experience, but a publicist can help try to squeeze what you can out of the press, which is always helpful, even if it's a blog. Getting some pull quotes for your show is great, and then, like was already said, I think having at least one eye-popping image for your main image is I think it's critical. And both Ruby and Bonnie had that, and I like to think I did as well. But keeping that top of mind and really putting time and effort into figuring out what that is going to be for your show. That's both of tells the story of your show, and at the end of the day, even more than that, is purely evocative of the sort of energy that you want people to gather from your show, and excites them about your show, because everyone has postcards and everyone has images, and how can I make mine pop out more than others.
So sorry, just making my husband grab all my materials, but so unfortunately, I think it sounds like we're all the worst in terms of like figuring out the monetary value of what you should put in marketing. I will say I'm very privileged because I have a day job, and so where I make like real money. So I would take all the funds from my day job and put them into my marketing budget. I would say that most of my budget was probably marketing, because it was really important to just sell yourself. Like Ben was saying earlier, it is not it's good. There's a built-in audience, and especially if you're like in LA, like you have a lot of friends, family that can come, but you should just be you have to be there, you have to be selling your stuff. Like so this is an example of my, oh, can you see it? Like, so it's like really pink is kind of like my thing. And this is later, I didn't have it for the Fringe, but I do have like stickers and stuff like Ruby does. But I do think it's really important to put a lot of effort into not just marketing, but showing up too. Like, so you should really go to the office hours, that's the word. So I think that's really important. And I know that, obviously not everybody is in LA, but there are those virtual sessions. And I think at the Broadwater, they even had their own like Broadwater specific virtual session. Unfortunately, it was at the exact same time as one of the Hollywood Fringe virtual sessions. So I had to like choose one or the other. And I think I chose the one for the Broadwater just because I knew there was like two other ones for Hollywood Fringe. But yeah, I don't have much more to add to this. But yeah, a lot of money for marketing for sure.
And I will say all three of you do, like, I can picture all of your marketing or your postcards, and it was really memorable. So Bonnie, you were just touching on office hours. I want to talk a little bit about who you are marketing to. So does your show content play a part in different communities that you might market to? And what are effective ways to market to people in the fringe community? And how can you expand that who so that you don't only rely on the fringe community in your personal circle? How do you get people from other communities into your show?
Earlier you were saying that you could sell tickets like not just on the website. So what I did is I also put some half price tickets on Gold Star as well. And I mean, I didn't put a lot. So, and just so to get into technical things, because I'm really into like technical things, is in the Hollywood Fringe website, you can, there's a section for you to be like, how many tickets do we want to sell through the website? So let's say my theater was 50 seats. I could reduce that number to 40. So that means I had 10 tickets to do whatever I wanted with. And I would put those 10 tickets on Gold Star. And so don't think of it as just like, oh, another avenue to sell your ticket, but think of it as another marketing platform, right? So obviously Gold Star would take a percentage, but it was free to offer discount tickets. And so you end up being in their like event listing. So I think that is what I can't remember if I did anything else besides that, but yeah, what Carly mentioned, I mean, office hours is important, pulling in from your own network is important, but in addition to that, there's Gold Star and there's and I think like I went to the Fringe marketing panel the year that I was doing it, and someone said Craigslist, but that might be iffy. But you know, just whatever works, whatever you're comfortable with.
I had a lot of people come, some involved in the comedy community in LA and theater people outside of Fringe. And because I did festivals as Ramon, like music festivals, I hit up a lot of those people and they all came because they're like, oh, wow, like you're going to have 70 minutes to yourself. So that was really beneficial. I wish I had had the forethought to like, I did hit up obviously the LGBTQ community, and I had thought that they were marketing too, since I was doing a show in their space. And then I found out later, like they weren't. So just because you're in a certain space doesn't mean they're marketing to the people that are in that space. So I did that later on for my extended run. And then, you know, I'm Puerto Rican, my drag king's Puerto Rican, you know, hit up your Latinx community or whatever group. Bonnie's Asian, so she's hitting up her Asian community to be like, hey, support me as an artist. We're marginalized artists. Like, this is a way to pour into our community and make sure we get seen and heard. I would say also, this might sound extra, I did this because my drag king is more, has less, whatever. Ramon's just better at marketing than I am. So I came in costume several times as Ramon to the nights that we all met up at the Broadwater and God, what are they called? The sessions?
Office hours.
Office hours. I think I went to almost every single one. And again, I lived an hour and a half away, but I was like, this is one of the only ways. And different people were there all the time. And then some of the same people. And it was really energizing. But like for me to go, because I'm quite shy, it would be terrifying. And then sending in Ramon, he was like, you know, hello, my name's Ramon. This is my show. Tell me about yours. You know, like just very able to get through it and not feel cringy inside. And then the other thing I was going to say is if you have a QR code, I don't know why, but humans just seem to really be into QR codes, and do not use qrstuff.com. I did. And after a certain amount of scans of the QR code, they charge you. And I put my QR code up on a post on Hollywood Boulevard in Franklin. And just one day it stopped working because it had too many scans. And I had to start paying for it. But you can make them for free on Adobe. I'm pretty sure you can on Canva. There's tons of free ways to get your own QR code so you never have to pay for it. But if you have that QR code on your flyer, on a sticker, on a button, people are just really willing to scan and get info and, you know, have it go to your Hollywood Fringe page if you can, because then they can immediately get a ticket or you can comp them. So yeah, those are my pieces of that.
My shows tend to deal with like mental health and addiction. So I think highlighting what your show sort of maybe highlighting some of the thematic elements of your show in your description of it. And maybe that sounds obvious, but I think being aware of that can be super helpful in sort of reaching other communities or reaching people who aren't necessarily into theater per se, but may resonate with the themes of your show and getting different kind of audience in that way who aren't built-in theater nuts. So and yeah, so that's what I had to add.
Yes, I forgot to add that emailing and personally reaching out really is effective as well. And a lot of times, like for those, you would kind of have to, well, at least the people I was emailing, you would have to offer comps, but then it's like more butts and seats. And the other thing that Ruby brought up that I actually I hadn't done that you had done and Taruko had done. Taruko is our other friend who won Best Solo last year. She was smart enough where and Instagram, honestly, Instagram and Facebook really, really work. Because whenever I would, and it's free, like whenever I would, and I wouldn't do the promoted stuff, although I think I did, but I think just in general, like my network was big enough where when I advertised on that, people that I knew that I was connected to on Facebook and Instagram that I hadn't seen in years actually came to see my show. So it's really effective. And she, what Taruka would do apparently is like she would do an Instagram post and she would tag like all the Asian specific groups to generate interest. Like I know, like I wish I was smart enough to do that. I didn't do that. And then I think a few people came out that way. So what Ben was speaking to about like the specialty groups that that would be interested in your particular show. I think so. Do that, and also I think personally reach out to them via email or what have you. I think is also effective. And again, it is a lot of legwork. Like, I mean, if your show, you know, if you're trying to like prep for your show, that's a whole other thing. But when it comes to marketing, like you really need to set aside time to be able to do. It's actually a lot of admin. Like I think people don't realize it's a ton of admin. You're just sitting in front of your computer or your phone for hours a day before the festival and during the festival every single day, like trying to get more people to come to see your shows. So I mean, it's worth the effort because then, you know, you get sold out shows, but it is a lot of work. So just prep for that mentally.
And I know it was already mentioned, but don't neglect using hashtag HFF23. That's, I mean, it just goes a long way to be in the sort of like feed of the fringe shows. At least in my experience, people have definitely clued into my shows just by virtue of using that one hashtag. So I highly recommend putting that on all your posts.
I have a question for you, Ben. Like, but isn't there like the fear of shadow banning? Like if you use the same hashtag like over and over again? Like I've encountered that myself.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's, I'm not sure. It's good. That's a good point.
I don't know about that either because I did hashtag Hollywood Fringe all the time or like HFF22 and I added them. So I don't know if that's a new thing, but I was going to add and say like having your friends who either saw the show or friends of yours, like email their friends and their managers and their casting directors or your director or your producer. Like my boyfriend emailed on my behalf, like, you know, and they were just maybe better than I was at being like, this show's amazing, you have to check it out. But word of mouth, I think, was my best marketing tool. And I got very, very, very lucky that I had a critic come to my preview show and two Hollywood Fringe staffers, because I was, I think, one of the first shows and previews. So some Fringe people came out and Hollywood Fringe staff, and then the critic, and it got a lot of buzz from that first preview show. And I remember my mentor at the time was like, you don't want to go that early in the previews. And I was like, I kind of do, because I want a week so I can edit things and, you know, not be terrified that it was too close to the next show. And I'm really grateful I did that because just more people came, I think, and it got that buzz. So by opening night, people were like, oh, I heard great things about your show. And also that like it gave me time to make the adjustments that I needed to so the next show could be better. So yeah, if you can ask friends to email on your behalf, especially after they've seen it, or do what Bonnie was saying and email the people who have come to see your show, because you have their email addresses after they get a ticket to your show, and say like, hey, if you love this show, please promote it on social media, or please, invite one more friend, especially if it's within your community. Like, please ask 3 more Latinx people to come check this out. I think that's a really great tool.
Awesome. I want to talk a little bit more about office hours. I know we're talking about marketing to other communities, but I also want to talk about marketing within the Fringe community, because we've talked about office hours a few times, and it really is so important. It makes a huge difference in getting the word about your show out there. Office hours starts out small, and week by week, it just grows and grows and grows. And then the last office hours before the festival will be 100 or 200 people. I can remember so many shows that I heard about at office hours that when it came to the festival, I recognized those show names or I recognized those people. And those are the ones that end up standing out when you're thinking about what shows to go to. So I can also acknowledge, though, that it can be intimidating to go to office hours for the first time, kind of like Ruby was saying. It's entering a new community and marketing yourself and marketing your show up with all of these other people doing the same thing. So can you all talk a little bit about your elevator pitch and how you pitch your show to other fringers at office hours?
Okay. Yes, I've been smiling because I think they all know my pitch. So I would basically, I think it's really important to have a snappy, like 1 to 2 sentences. And so my elevator pitch was always, my show is a terrible show for terrible people. It is a 45-minute physical comedy show with only 2 words. And immediately people would be like, what are those 2 words? And it's like, oh, you have to come to see. And then the other question I would frequently get was, do you repeat the 2 words? And I was like, no, let me say them once and 2 words in that long stretch of time. And I think that would generate people's interest. So if your pitch is interesting and dynamic enough, people will be interested in it. So really, really think of that really good elevator pitch.
Yeah, I did the thing where it's like this meets this. So I was like, as Ramona, I was like, it's Mr. Rogers gone drag mixed with Pee-wee's Playhouse gone Puerto Rican plus a disco dance party. And people were like, what? It's a lot of this meets that. And then I'd be like, it's immersive, it's interactive. You don't have to participate if you don't want to, and I would have like little bubbles that I would hand out or little mustaches, or again, like the stickers with the QR code. Because everyone's getting flyers. So then I was like, oh, but it'd be more fun if I gave them something they could like put on their water bottle. Because I've done that for friend shows where I put their stickers on my water bottles and people are like, what is that? What's that show from? Or what is that from? So a little elevator show pitch and just like getting curious about other people's shows, because there'd be many times where I would hear about other people's shows and then they want to ask me about mine and I'd be like, okay, talk to you later. I'd be like, I'm here for a purpose too, but that's fine. Which I'm sure also is just nerves. But it does, you want to be there to listen and receive and hear. And also that is how I started scheduling what shows I would see, is based on who was there, who I spoke to. And then in the moment I'd be like, all right, let me get a comp for yours right now. And then I'll give you a comp. We just did it in the moment at office hours.
My elevator pitch was kind of weird for my show. So I was never that confident in it this past year. I've been more confident in other ones. But my show is about a guy who's using alcohol and football to cope with the death of his dog. And it always felt like a little niche. But I would say don't be afraid of your shows, exactly what it's about. I mean, I think people appreciate the honesty, and if it's not for them, that's great. And if it is for them, then I don't know. I think just being doing your best to be confident about the show and speak to exactly what the show is. And Ruby and Bonnie had great elevator pitches this past year, and I definitely gravitated toward both of their work. So yeah.
That's great. And like Lois and Kevin said, our whole staff is at every office hours. So if you come up to one of us and say, hey, I'm looking to meet somebody that's doing so and so, we can point those people out to you too, because we're meeting everyone in the process. So always feel free to ask us who you should go up to and introduce yourself to that might be helpful with what you're working on. And like Lois said in the chat, don't put a stack of postcards on like a random table at office hours. Pass them out to people, but don't leave them, because they're gonna end up they're not gonna leave them out there. So don't waste your materials. Give them to people and let people take them home, but don't leave them. Hold on to those and actually give them to people personally. I want to, as we talk about office hours, that's obviously leading up to the festival. There are also a bunch of fringe marketing opportunities during the festival that we will have a lot more info on soon, but I just want to highlight them very quickly. We have our runway that Ruby was talking about, which is it's the last office hours, and we'll have more information on that, but it's a good way to show off your costumes, and everybody kind of comes together in their show format for the first time, and it's a really cool way to see it all come to life, basically. We have cabarets, which happen during the festival, where you can sign up to do a little snippet of your show, a few minutes long, and people come to the cabarets and get to see, oh, that seems like a cool show. I can go to that one. That seems really interesting. We do Fringe TV interviews, which we put on our YouTube channel. And then we have our sponsored drink program, which we'll have more information on soon. And then starting in previews, we have our Fringe Central space this year, and we will have a place to drop off your postcards at Fringe Central, so that when people come to Fringe Central between shows or to have a drink or to get to know people, they can look at all the postcards and see if there's anything that they want to go see. So definitely take advantage of all of those opportunities if you can. We'll have more information on all of that soon, but I just wanted to kind of highlight that as we're talking about some of these fringe community marketing opportunities. So pivoting to more marketing strategies, I know Ruby was talking earlier about wrapping the car. What are some out of the box ways that you've marketed your shows and found success? How do you make your show stand out with all of the other shows that are at the Fringe, other than this elevator pitch? Do you have any other marketing strategies that you think would be helpful to share?
I will say that, so jumping off of what Ruby said earlier about like making sure when you're talking to another fringer that it's not just a one-sided conversation. It feels like common sense, but you'd be surprised at the amount of times during the office hours where I felt like talked at, and I was just like, well, I don't really want to see your show then, because it feels like I'm going to see your show, but you're not going to come to see mine. So it's really important that you like have a genuine connection with people. And I get it, for some people, it's like a little harder because of social anxiety stuff, but just remember that everyone is in the same boat and everyone really wants you to succeed, and everyone wants to succeed themselves. Oh my God, that was thought. What was maybe come back to me. What I was going to say.
I've really utilized Instagram at least once a day, sometimes twice. And, it can be as simple as like showing your theater space or showing your ad, or, showing how many tickets have sold, or like, I just got a new costume piece, or like, this is a prop that I'm using in the show. Want to know how I'm going to use it? You have to come. Like creating a little mystery or fun. I did dance routines. I mean, I've never gone this hard on marketing a show in my entire life. And it was very intimidating, and also in a nerdy science way, like the way we build our brain and neuroplasticity is all about challenging ourselves. So for people that are very anxious about this stuff, like I get it, I was too. Let an alter ego take over, create a alter ego persona for your producer hat on, and like use these free tools on Instagram and Facebook. There are ways that you can boost your post on both Facebook and Instagram to get more views. For me, that didn't bring new people to my show. What did bring new people to my show was using Eventbrite. and going on like comedybureau.com, because my show's a comedy show too, and going on like UCB's page and UCB scholarship and diversity winner, like just hitting up other pages that were related to what my show was about, and putting my marketing stuff there, and also putting in the videos that I did on Instagram. I don't know what TikTok's future will be right now, but really utilize these resources because people would keep seeing it. And I had friends hit me up like, oh yeah, I keep seeing your post. I'm going to come to your show. I think after a while, there's this thing where like, not guilt per se, but something where like, wow, this person's really doing a lot to market their show. I should probably go out of my house and spend $15 and go see it. And I had some friends, even frienders, say, I was so depressed or like frustrated by my own show, but you kept posting and it inspired me to post. So like, you're kind of also helping out the community to do that scary thing. And I think that's the best thing, if we're all supporting and inspiring one another.
I remember what I was going to say now. So a great way to market your own show is to go to other people's shows. What I would specifically do is, if I could, I would sit in the very front row. So the person that I had comp swap with could see me. Also, it helped that like I was always in like Hello Kitty gear, and so I would have like Hello Kitty gear, so they would like recognize me right away. And after the show, I would stick around and talk to that specific person so they knew I came. So basically, if I had gone to see their show first, because people are nice at the end of the day, they're like Ruby was saying, like it's that guilt of like, oh, you came to see my show, I should probably see yours. But then it's also like, if they came to see your show, you want to be like, hey, I'm right here, I'm supporting you as well. This like, we're all here to support each other. The other thing I would do is, especially if you're going to see a show, because Ben, Ruby, and myself, we're all solo shows. But if you're going to go see a show with a larger ensemble, then you start talking to the other people in the ensemble, and you're like, I came to see your show. Here's my flyer. But I mean, like, you engage in a real conversation with them. You don't just like shove a thing in your face. But that's really effective because people like knowing that you were there for them and you appreciated all the artistic work that they put in. So it's just mutually beneficial.
And to add to what Bonnie said, we went to see a show that was an ensemble show. Bonnie was like, we're sticking around afterwards to let them know that we saw their show. And it was a great show, so we wouldn't be like, that was awesome. And then Bonnie was like, Ruby has a great show. It's a drag show. Blah, and it was like promoting my show. So I saw in the chat, people were talking about bringing a friend with them to office hours. Yes, and also bring a friend with you to see a show. And then if you want, they can help talk up your show to that other person, because sometimes it is easier to have a friend talk up their show and be like, I saw their show, it's fantastic, I think you'll love it. Here's the flyer. You could just stand there and smile and be like, yeah, I have a show, and then you can do the same for them. But I did not think of that until the very end when I was with Bonnie and she did that, and I was like, wow, that is smart and fair. It's a very fair thing to do. And those people followed my show and we talk all the time. Now we're like buddies on Instagram and we swap like mental health tips. So it's become a fringe ship. Yes.
I definitely also used Instagram a lot. I don't know if it's just fun for me to see my own posts, but I, at least I felt like I was reaching my own network. And then if those people, saw, and I took, I had my girlfriend take pictures. I painted half my face and took pictures with my dogs. That's what my show was about. And then I just used a free or cheap like editing online tool. The website I use is called Be Funky. And it's just really easy photo editing, and I was able to create some really cool images that I thought were eye-catching. And then I would post a lot to the to some of the Facebook groups, like the fringe Facebook groups. I thought were a nice way to also reach other fringers as well. So yeah, I think it's sort of, even if you're on a shoestring budget, there are ways to continue to market your show and market your show digitally as well.
That is a perfect segue to talk about digital marketing. So I know we've talked about social media a lot. Do you have other digital marketing sites that you've used? Have you used Facebook ads? What other forms of digital marketing have you all tried and recommend, or maybe not recommend? And if none, that's totally fine.
I haven't really used many. So I tend to, I don't know. I just don't have much experience. So yeah,
More social media for you.
social media and in person.
Yeah, I didn't do this until after Fringe when I did an extended run. I used Eventbrite, and Eventbrite got like 5 strangers into my show, which I was very surprised about. Um, Gold Star didn't work for me personally, but I know it worked for other people. So I think it, just try some of them. Try Gold Star, try Eventbrite, see what brings people to the show. My Instagram boost post didn't bring new people to me, but I know for other people it worked. So, just be a little adventurous and try one out each week and see which one gets traction for you.
I think we did put out Facebook, like boosted Facebook and Instagram posts, but I never checked the data on those. So I don't have anything to add. Good chat.
That's okay. That's okay. And I know we've already talked a lot about physical marketing, but anything else you all want to add about, flyers, printed ads, t-shirts? I love what Ruby you were saying about sometimes coming in costume, getting people to know your character. Did you all do a lot of that during the festival and during your run? Did you rely on flyers? What was the most effective when it came to physical marketing?
I know postcards are like kind of old school, but I think it's really still helpful to have something physical to hand to someone rather than just being like, hey, remember the name of my show or look it up. Because I don't know, I find it hard to keep you're meeting a lot of people. So if I have something physical that's in my pocket, it's like, oh, I can at least leaf back through what I got and pull up the show that way. And then the one thing I would add is that like speaking of investments of money, it's like investing the time and factoring that into, I think for me the most important thing has always been to invest the time to be at office hours and invest the time to be around the festival and immerse yourself in the festival, and really, yeah, just really engage with the experience if you're able to and have the time. I know a lot of us have other jobs that we have to work, and but when you do have the time to really be present in your interactions, and also just physically present as well.
I will say that is so important because there was, I mean, the truth of the matter is there's so many shows, so even if you really want to see as many shows as you can, there's still some that you just won't be able to. Like I was able to see about 30 plus shows sometime last year. There's one show that came up for me over and over again that I was like, oh, I want to fit into my schedule, but by the time that the end of Fringe rolled around, I never got to see it. And then only after Fringe ended, I saw who was a part of that show, and I was like, I know that person. I totally would have gone seen them, but I never saw them at office hours. So that was like a ticket sale that was lost because I just didn't know. I never saw the person involved with it.
Yeah, that happened to a few friends where I was like, you were in Fringe? I didn't know that at all. Or we're in office hours. And I would agree, like, get a good photo of your show, like Ben did, like Bonnie did, like I did. Like I had a professional headshot photo, and maybe that's not the gist of your show, maybe it's a drawing or something, but like make it really good. If you do stickers, my one regret was that I didn't have like the name of my show on there or the ticketing link or my Instagram. It was just a QR code. So have like a little bit more. That's why like the new ones have like the QR code inside of the name of the show, and then it has like the Instagram, which you can go to, or maybe if you have a website. If you don't have a website for this, the Fringe link is totally fine. You don't want to overwhelm people with ways that they can find out about your show. I just had the Fringe link and my Instagram, and I got a lot of traction that way. And I really think like if you are going to do virtual, I saw like 3 shows virtually because I was just so exhausted sometimes. I was like, I can't leave my house today, but like I want to see somebody's Fringe show. And so I would just scroll and see like, okay, who's a virtual show? I'm gonna watch it while I'm recuperating at home. Um, and I think that's another way to get more eyes on your project if it's the right show for it. Some shows are not built to be seen virtually, but I think a lot of solo shows can be. I saw Becky's show Tight virtually, and it was awesome and hilarious. And I was like, oh, I'm so glad she did this. Because also sometimes there was 2 shows that kept being like right before mine or after mine, and I kept missing them over and over. And so I reached out to them to let them know, like, I'm not lying to you. Our schedules just keep butting up. And then in the encore, both those shows got encores, and I was able to see it in the encores. So if you even just let people know, like, I really want to see your show, but our schedules aren't matching up, I'm rooting for you, and then try and see it in the encores, or if they do it after Fringe, you know.
And just to reiterate what Lois is saying in the chat and what you all are saying, not only office hours, but also Fringe Central during the festival is such a good place to meet up with people. Come grab a drink. We have cornhole. We have our merch booth. People just hang out there, and it's walking distance from Santa Monica, where all the theaters or where most of the theaters are. And so you can come if you have 30 minutes in between and just want to come meet people and put your postcards out and tell people to come see your show. It's just such a great opportunity. And like Lois said, we will be open during previews this year as well. So one thing I want to touch on that Ruby was saying is like getting a professional photo. We have a bunch of opportunities. If you have not seen the participant packet, we're going to drop a link to it in the chat. Make sure you look in the participant packet because we have discount opportunities for different photographers and people that are giving Fringe participants discounts. We have media opportunities in there. Just make sure you go through that packet because we have all sorts of ways that you can get discounts or support on things like this that can really help with your marketing. So we will make sure to drop that in the chat right now so that you all have access to that if you have not already, but there are so many tools in that packet that will be really helpful to you. So make sure to take a look at that if you have a chance. I want to talk, because we're talking a little bit about marketing yourself and going to other people's shows. I love the strategy that Bonnie was saying. I actually remember seeing you at a show in your Hello Kitty gear. And I want to talk about what makes you pick a Hollywood Fringe production to see. There are thousands of performances happening over 3 weeks. So how does someone stand out to you when you need to narrow it down to a small number of shows that you can probably fit in your schedule with rehearsals in your shows as well?
I tend to initially judge a book by its cover. So I really gravitate towards something that catches me visually from an image or a postcard. And then also developing relationships with people. If they're a cool person, I am more likely to see a show. And then thirdly, I lost my train of thought. Oh, I cruise the website a lot. And look at what shows are up. And so, I mean, I place a lot of stock in having like a great short description of what the show is about and on your Fringe page on the website. So I think investing at least a little bit of time in making sure that looks polished is nice as well, because I know I definitely check that out. I don't know if anyone else does, but yeah.
For me, again, to me, the office hours and that personal connection is so important because I know we said this earlier, but like if you're talking to a person and they're literally just spending the entire time talking about themselves, I will be less inclined to see your show because I'm like, okay, clearly you don't care about anyone else. And I'm actually more lenient about the artwork and the copy on postcards and stuff because let's be honest, like a lot of artists just aren't good with marketing themselves, but they might have a good show. So I think I just kind of, for myself, I factor that in. So it really becomes about the personal connection. And again, I know a lot of people aren't in LA, but there are those virtual Fringe networking opportunities. And with those, they do a good job of putting people into like little groups. So then you have like to then you're able to talk to like just a few other people. And even in that virtual space, you can get a sense of that person's personality. And again, it's always nice when people like genuinely want to hear what you have to say and you're listening to what they have to say. And also, I don't think it's about a like trying to pack things into like, because everyone's time is limited. So for me, it was like very first come, first serve. So it's like, if you sound cool and your show sounds cool, like I'm gonna schedule that into my calendar, and then your show, your fringe calendar will gradually get more and more full. And just unfortunately, if you meet someone later and they have a cool show, or let's be honest, like at the very, very end of the month, like you're kind of completely burnt out and you're like, I want to support, I just physically cannot go see another show. That will happen. But so I would just say like front load it, like just try to put as much into your schedule as you possibly can, knowing you can do it, but also like knowing your limits, because I was very specific about the amount of shows I could see a day. Like because I also work a full day job. So I knew with everything I had to do per day, which included like the admin, emailing more people, doing more comp swaps every day, and then going to see shows and then networking in person, I was like, I cannot physically and emotionally and mentally see more than 3 shows. Like, and I know that about myself. So just be aware of what your limitations are, and what you can feasibly do will help you a lot. But yeah, it's just like the connections and just filling your calendar, and like honestly, like see as many shows, like you get such more an appreciation of your own show, and like you get to really know the community, I think, which is the other part that people like sometimes like don't realize. It's not just like about an opportunity to be seen, but you get to meet so many other amazing cool people that you can be like friends for life, and then be creative partners down the line. You never know.
Yes, I want to add on to what Bonnie was saying about knowing your limits, because I realized like, okay, my recovery days, I can do like one virtual show, but also on your recovery days, you're also promoting your next show, maybe fixing a prop that broke in your show, which happened a few times, or buying a new one that cannot be fixed with hot glue. And like I ran into 2 different fringers at like, one was at a meditation class, one was at a yoga class, and seeing them in that space, I was like, oh yeah, I want to see your show. Let's do comps right now. So just also giving yourself time to recover and pour into yourself. I definitely did not. I was like, I'm a festival person. I can go hard and see tons of shows. And then by like week 2, I was very burnt out and had to keep changing the days when I would see certain people's shows. So if you have a show, maybe the next day you take your day off just energetically to recover. In terms of like developing friendships and all that, I cruised cabaret shows. I did look for ones that had virtual offerings so that I could see more, as I rested. And for like what you're writing, short and sweet and simple and intriguing, and if you have a mentor, have them talk you up, have them reach out to people for you, my mentor was really good about introducing me to people at Fringe, especially because he knew that I was a shy bunny. So he'd be like, oh, let me introduce you to my mentee. And that was so helpful, especially just to have a person who'd done it before. And they had known me from acting work I'd done at BuzzFeed before, them talking about your work or how much they loved your show or what a great mentee you were. That was really helpful. And if you don't have a mentor, again, bring a friend, have somebody that you trust talk you up, because you need a lot of hands on deck. The other thing I was going to say was, if your show allows for it, which my show did, and I made this in my announcement, I was like, put your phone on airplane mode, but feel free to take photos during my show. And then people would post about my show on their page, and it would attract more people. And if you can hire a film person or have a friend film segments of your show and then put up just a 1-minute reel on Instagram so that people can start to get a feel of it, just anything to create more buzz or intrigue. Or if you get a publicist or a really good review, immediately get that pull quote, put it on a photo, put it on video. If somebody gives it 5 stars, or you get, a producer's encore award, like, do not feel ashamed of promoting yourself. You worked for that. So use it,
Maybe it's just like a good karma or a good energy thing, but I think doing your best to follow through and see shows that you say you're going to see is great, and is nothing but helpful and super, like Bonnie was saying. I think the being encouraged by, I don't know, it's just like builds you up to see more stuff and interact with more artists, and is it's always been inspiring to me about my own work, and sort of that cross pollination is just very artistically fulfilling, I've found through the Fringe.
Awesome. You all have talked a lot about what has worked. Do you have anything, and it's okay if you don't, anything that's been a lesson learned that maybe you did to market your show that did not work for you? And we always say this in workshops. We will say this doesn't work, and then somebody will be the exception and prove us wrong. We are always willing to be proven wrong. But do you have anything that you'd recommend not doing, or that felt like it was kind of a waste of your time or money?
I always accidentally print way too many postcards, so they just are like papering my walls at home for the next few years. So I don't even know off the top of my head what a good amount is, but I always end up accidentally overprinting and paying probably more money than I need to.
They don't let you make, because I was like, I just need like 250 flyers. And the minimum you could get was like 500, or I think it was like
Oh,
close
so
to
are we just,
250.
do they just
You have
have
to
us
pay
over a
more.
barrel?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. At least the two places that I looked into.
fair enough.
I wish I had my printer place, and it might have just been because last year with the supply chain and all that stuff, they were delayed on printing, but then wouldn't give me a refund on it. And I just didn't have the energy to keep like hitting them up and be like, that's BS. That was 4 days late. But yes, if you could get less printed, or make your flyer adjustable so that like if you do extend it, you can just cover up the dates, or the QR code if you use the Fringe QR code and you're like, okay, Fringe is over, but like I want to do my another show. Or if you win awards, there's space on your flyer to put the awards and accolades. Because I've been reusing some of mine, but like this guy that had the QR code for the Fringe website, it was easy though. I just cut it off, and people are like, yeah, I'll take that sticker, you know. So when you're designing, if you can keep in mind like, oh, if I want to use this for encore show, if I get one, or an extended run, or future shows, how can I make this work for me? I wish I'd had more of that insight, because the whole back of my flyer is pretty much useless, but that's okay. I just like put an X with a smiley face on it in the back now, and people are forgiving. We don't want to kill the planet, so yeah.
I love that idea though, about adding something about if you win an award. Think about if you have blank space on a postcard or a flyer, you could add a sticker that has your award information on it. Think about ways that you'll be able to use those postcards afterwards so that things don't go to waste.
Yeah, to that point, I actually would design my flyers so that certain times could be changed with a sticker. Like I would often go to FedEx or Staples has these stickers that you can like print like a sheet of. And so for my encore, I had a bunch of extra flyers left, and I just printed out the new time with some of the awards that I won, and just stuck it over my current postcard so that I could reuse them and you know, have it not go to waste. So I think, yeah, that's another great way of saving some money.
I love that. Awesome. So before we get to Q&A, let's just really quickly rapid fire one piece of advice going into the festival. We are about to enter the busiest weeks leading up to it. I'll start by saying my advice is to take care of yourself. I know Lois and Kevin were saying in the chat, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Really make sure you meal prep, drink extra water, try to get a good night's sleep and stay healthy. The festival can become really, really exhausting, and it's important to take really good care of yourself leading up to it. So do you all have good words of advice that you want to share before we get into Q&A?
I get super nervous for my show, so I've always had a tough time seeing other shows on my show day. And I think just giving yourself the freedom to take care of yourself and knowing that you are putting in the time otherwise. So yeah, I think taking care of yourself and taking care of your art are two really important things to remember.
Yes, on that note, I got to my venue 2.5 hours early because it's Hollywood and parking can be dicey. But I think because I did that, the parking guys every time let me park out in front. And my friends were like, I knew exactly where the entrance was to the theater because I saw your car right out front. And even though they had like a designated parking spot in a garage, I was like, no, my car is advertisement now. So get there early. I would stretch, hydrate, meditate, talk to the staff. Like I'm just a person that needs to get to a venue super early to feel calm, especially in this city. Like it's not like New York where you can just trot on down. You have to really be mindful of traffic. Also, please be mindful of the Pride schedule, especially that weekend in Hollywood. And there's 3 different ones. There's West Hollywood Pride, and then LA Pride. I was not aware of that when I scheduled my show, and that definitely hurt my numbers on 2 different weekends. And it hurt me because I was like, oh, I was supposed to do stuff for Pride, and then I had to say no to those events. So be mindful of Pride schedule.
Yeah, I will give you advice. Actually, Bruce Shockley gave me like when I was actually supposed to do my show in 2020, but we all know what happened then. Really, if you want the most out of the experience, like you really have to clear your calendar for June. Like I remember when he told me that at first, I was like, really? That's a lot of time. But it's like really, if you want the most out of the experience, I mean, obviously it depends on your goals, but if you're, I mean, obviously anyone here that is in this marketing panel right now really cares and wants to know how to make their show the best. And unfortunately, the reality is you really have to clear your schedule for June and even May to like prep for things so that you can really be at Fringe 24/7 to get the best experience for your marketing, to meet the coolest people. And also adding to what Ben said about, and Ruby said about like knowing the calendar and taking care of yourself. I myself personally scheduled dark days like for myself. Like I just made it a rule. I would not see shows. I would not go to shows on Monday. And if someone had a show on, unfortunately it was that, so if someone had a show like that, there were 3 shows and I could do 2 dates and then the other date was on a Monday, I still would have to be like, no, like I can't do it, because I knew how much time and effort I was putting into like the rest of the festival. And I was like, I just need one day for myself where I can just like recuperate and do nothing. And also, be aware of like the other weekends. Something that I told a few other people when I was telling them about giving them advice as well is that there's also Father's Day weekend that maybe people might be busy hanging out, with their family. And now Juneteenth is a federal holiday. So maybe now that's a long weekend. So maybe people might be out of town. I did not schedule any shows during that long weekend myself. So, but again, it just depends on your needs and your goals, but just be aware of like, you can take care of yourself, like what Ben said, and just be aware of what's going on other than outside of Hollywood Fringe, like what Ruby said.
Awesome. Let's transition to Q&A. So anyone who's in the Zoom, and if you're on Facebook, feel free to send your questions over the chat and we'll get them over to Zoom. But if you're in Zoom and you want to ask a question, let's start marketing now. So say your name, briefly introduce your show, and then let us know what your question is. Feel free to raise your hand. It looks like we already have one. Carol Francis. I think there you go.
Yeah, I was muted. I'm nervous. It's my first time I've ever done this. I have a 30-minute solo show, and could you give me a little sense of one for a solo show, especially if you're not known? I mean, I hope all my friends in the movement and friends, my personal friends will show, but what to expect in terms of, should I book, I don't want empty seats unless I have an encore, and the last one has empty seats. So I'm glad to hear about this encore thing, because I don't know if I should book a 30-seat theater and then hope for an encore. And then do you book one the following weekend or during? How does that work?
Carol, what is your name of your show, first and foremost? Carol Francis, sorry.
Yeah, right. Pardon?
What's the name of your show?
Okay, my show is going to be called something like Seeds Thrown, no, excuse me, Seeds Sown, A Better World Grown.
I love that title.
Oh,
You're
good.
speaking to my desires on the planet.
That's great.
I would definitely do, as Ben and Bonnie and I said, like picking a smaller seated venue, because it is fun to say you sold out, and it's just less stress to have
yeah.
to fill 25, 30. Mine became a 40-seater. And I felt overwhelmed a lot filling up 40 seats, so I would pick 25, 30 if you can, or if the venue only has 15, 20, then do that, and then just do maybe a few more shows, because then you have more days that people can come see it, but you're not overwhelmed with filling up the seats.
So do you book that ahead of time, or do you book one and wait to see if it's filling up, if tickets are being sold, and then you say, oh, I should book an encore theater, maybe the same theater, different weekend or something like that? And do you do that during the Fringe, or as the tickets are coming in and it looks like you're going to sell out before the Fringe begins, or what happens?
So it sounds like you're asking like more of a logistical question. So when you book your venue, you make an agreement with them about how many shows you want. Each venue will have their own package. So you can obviously book single shows, but it's more cost efficient to book a package of shows. I only did the Broadwater, so I don't know what the other packages are, but the Broadwater will do like a package of 3 shows, a package of 5, or a package of 7. As Lois wrote in the chat, the encore the encores that you receive, they're awards that the venues give out. So it's basically like, if the venue likes the venue that you book likes your show, you can again encore. An encore is not necessarily guaranteed. So I would just say focus on the amount of shows that you want during Fringe. This is just my personal opinion. I think 5 is about the right shows, because 3, because it's a whole month, and when you do 3, it's really hard to build momentum, and like that it's over. If it's 7, it can get really, really draining, because you also remember have to do all this other marketing, you have to go see a bunch of other shows, you have to meet a lot of people. So I think 5 is like that sweet spot, and it looks like Ben and Ruby agree with me. So it really just look at the venue packages you have with the venue that you want to go with.
I'm also going to have Lois jump on really quick and talk a little bit about encores here, just so that everybody's clear on what that entails.
Hi, everyone. The panelists, such good advice all around. So encores are a little confusing, and I recommend the participant packet is going to give you kind of an overview of what that post-festival world looks like. But it is a venue award, but it runs differently depending on what venue you're in. Some of them, for example, Best of Broadwater does their own thing for their venue, whereas a lot of the other venues kind of group together and do an encore series. So that is venue run, but you get to apply to make sure that venues are looking at your work. So we'll go through all of that in those upcoming events and make sure that you don't miss those opportunities as participants. And then, because it's a great question, and it is important to find out how your show is going to going to operate after the festival. In addition, with the booking additional performances, I think it's super important to have that conversation with your venue now, if that's something you are considering, because some venues are sold out too. So that might be super possible at one venue, but not an option at another. So just to kind of know what the world could look like during your run. But I think, yeah, 100% booking like 3 to 5, like is usually kind of the mixed bag of what works for people. And I think, yeah, definitely leaning toward 5 shows at different times too. You want to make sure that you don't have just 5 days in a row, because you're not getting that marketing time in between where you can, pivot your plan and go market more than you were already. So just some tips of what we've seen.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lois, and thanks, Carol Francis.
Thank you.
Let's move on to Matthew. Did you want to jump on and ask your question?
Hello. My name is Matthew. My show is called The King and I and Paul. It's a comedy, so thanks for laughing. I have some ticketing questions. So can you set prices for your show individually per date? Like if we wanted to do, so we do have a show on Father's Day and we wanted to set a special price for that. Is that more of a discount code thing? Or can we say this date is this price, these dates are this price?
You can set different dates for different prices. Correct me if I'm wrong, Lois, but you can set like your preview dates could be a completely different price than your run during the festival. So you get to decide per performance.
Awesome. And then to follow up with that, and then going with comps, I think you kind of answered it during the talk earlier, but I just want to clarify. Does the website, how would you track your comps so that people buying tickets know how many are actually available? So if you have 50 seats and you've comped 10, how do they know that there's only 40 left? Or would you only allow 40 to be available? Sorry.
How does the general public know that there's 40 left?
Right. Like if they're comped and not actually purchased, does the Fringe website show that those tickets are unavailable?
Oh, yes, I see what you're saying. You control that. So
Okay.
there's a section in the ticketing part that says like, so basically it will, the number that's set is automatic based on your venue. So for instance, for mine was the Broadwater Black Box, which has 50 seats. So there's a number 50. And I think I'm remembering like below that, that's like tickets, there's tickets that you make unavailable. So if you 10 comps, then you set that number to 10 and it automatically reduces the general ticketing sales to 40, so that you have there's 10 that you can do whatever you want with comps, or put them on Gold Star, or put them in Eventbrite, so that the system knows that it only has 40 tickets to sell.
Awesome. Perfect. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Let's hop over to, it looks like Michelle. Did you have a question?
Yes. Hi, thanks. My name is Michelle, and I'm working on a comedy storytelling show called My Brothers Hate It When I Cry. And I'm curious about the marketing for it, because Taruko actually introduced me to the festival. Love her. She's so great. But she kind of warned me about when marketing, like you don't necessarily, you want to manage expectations so that people know it's dramatic. And even though it's mostly comedy, there will be crying from myself and from hopefully anyone who's in the room, because I'm going to be making them do that by asking them to. And so I just am curious about like how to manage those expectations when you're marketing a show, if it sort of is a hybrid, which I imagine you guys encounter a lot because there are so many unique ideas here.
I didn't realize people would cry during my show, but they did. But I definitely said in the marketing, or like I said something like all feelings are welcomed, or like all expressions are welcomed. And the tone that I said at the top of the show was like, this is a safe space. Like, it's not just like, this is a safe space. Like curated and created the energy for a safe space and let people know everything was consensual in the show. They definitely didn't have to participate. They could sit towards the back, and that all feelings were welcomed, because we deal with like anger and sadness and judgment and anxiety during my show. It doesn't sound fun when I say that part, but we went through like a whole feelings wheel in my show. That was the spine of it. I I know what you're saying. This Turco show does have comedy in it, but it's gut wrenching at times too. So maybe you could put in like one word that would elicit that kind of understanding. Ben might have better advice on this since, yeah, but maybe one word like gut wrenching or like a heartwarming or, you know, something that people know like, okay, this is has some drama or some serious elements to it.
Thanks.
Anyone else have anything to add?
I'm so sorry. Mine was like a straight.
Okay.
So I don't have, mine was just raunchy and dumb, so I don't have anything to add to this.
I mean, at least in my paper marketing or on the Fringe website, I called mine a searing dark comedy. So it kind of lent that it's not just a comedy. There's, you know, it cuts pretty deep as well. So I think just trying to be just being honest about it is better than trying to weasel around it. I think people appreciate that.
Thank you all.
Totally. And make sure to add content warnings, like Lois said, on your
Yes.
admin page, just to make sure that if there's anything sensitive to certain groups, you're just going to want to make sure to always communicate that.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Let's bring Rebecca. Do you want to ask your question?
Hey there, I'm Rebecca O'Brien, and my show is Getting There. It's about my little service dog and I going on the city bus to and from treatment for cancer, and I'm all good. I'm in remission. And all the people that we meet on the bus that end up being as there for me as much as family could be. So I need to shorten it, I know. Okay, I appreciate you all. I've learned so much. I'm kind of beating myself up over here because I didn't think about Pride. And I have a show too. My opening is previewed June 2nd at 8 p.m. and June 4th, Sunday at 4 p.m. And I'm just looking here. That's big time for Pride. So I can't change those dates. So give me advice so I can not freak out.
Just warn your audience. Like,
Yeah.
Just what? Just what?
Warn your audience, because you want to make sure that they're not late and they don't get caught in traffic and find difficulty parking. So make sure you message your audience beforehand and warn them about it. So they're basically, the more information you can give your audience, the better it can be.
I'm just scared nobody will be there because they'll go, oh, I won't come.
People will come, but you just need to warn them that it will be trickier to get to the venue.
Okay.
Yeah, and I mean, I messaged every audience about parking because parking is so difficult around the Fringe. And yeah, it's there's not really the luxury of starting late during Fringe with shows in before you and in after you. So I think the more, just what Bonnie was saying, the more lead time you can give or the more advice you can give your audience, the better.
So go ahead and be honest and upfront from the get-go. And what if they, though, just say, oh, I can't come that night? What if everybody says they won't come on my first Friday night, my only Friday night?
You say, it's okay. Guess what? I got 3-4 other shows. Do any of these work for you?
Yeah.
Also, are you using your dog in your marketing? Because you should.
Yeah, there's going to be a picture of her and I on a bus.
I highly recommend you look up. Taruko's not even here, but like she's here. Taruko Nakajima's show Made in America. She also have her service dog TT that looks like so much like your dog. Please look that up on the Fringe website.
What's her name?
Taruko Nakajima, and her show is called Made in America. On the Fringe website, there may be another show called Made in America from like years ago, but if you just like do a general Google search, her marketing like has her dog, adorable dog TT in it. And I definitely think you should use your dog.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. Let's see. Carol Francis, did you have another question? I see your hand raised.
I'm sorry, I didn't put it down. It's
Okay,
now down.
no worries. It looks like Anthony has a question.
Hi, I'm Anthony. My show actually is debuting at the Denver Fringe this June. I was referred there to to you. Overall, I'm like Carol. I am an absolute first time Fringer, very relatively some experience with theater, but this is like my first time producing my own show. I'm thinking like, if you're a virtual unknown, is there, other than what you stated, another way to get kind of primed to pump about your show, especially when you don't have any clips, really work out there?
I just want to say that both Ruby and myself were completely unknown last year. We like last year, 2022 was both of our very first, not just time at Hollywood Fringe, but Fringe in general.
Wow.
And we did all those things. So I think if you do all those things, you'll be good. If that helps.
That does. Yeah, it's nice to know I'm not the only first time. I mean, way back in the past, I did some theater, but yeah, it's way back in the past. Okay, that works. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, my first time was a while ago at the Hollywood Fringe, but in 2012, I had also just moved to LA, so I knew zero people kind of in or outside of the Fringe. So I just spent a lot of time at the Fringe Festival and met people that way. And then also, I mean, something that I'm sure Bonnie and Ruby would agree, I think. Number one is honing your material. And just because the cream does rise. It really does, as far as like people are going to talk about the shows that they think are excellent. And I think focusing on making your show as excellent as you possibly can, even if that means, I remember I rewrote the ending of my first show after our preview because it wasn't landing with the audience like I really wanted it to. So not being afraid of continuing to hone your material. Yeah, that's probably my biggest piece of advice, even just about marketing, is just making sure your play is good.
So Ben, did you use a director or producer? Because I mean, I know some people who are directors and producers and professional storytelling coaches. And
Are you doing a solo play?
Yes.
Yeah, I've always used a director. I think it's, in my experience, extremely important to have an outside eye or an outside voice on your show. That's just my opinion. And that's always helped me edit and always helped me hone the material as well.
I mean, I have
even if it's just a mentor or someone coming in to view it before the audience views it. If you don't want to use a formal director, just getting some eyes on the material.
Yeah, I really want to emphasize what Ben and Bonnie have said. Like I had a director. I also had people that I'd worked with in other festivals, like give me advice on how to do the interactive and immersive portions, because I've worked for other festivals, but I haven't done my own Fringe. The last time I did a solo show was like 2014 in New York, and I just hadn't built up any like theater pals before Fringe. Like I had people that did theater that were comedians, but not like, homies. So like Bonnie said, like I was totally new to the process. I felt you will probably feel overwhelmed several times throughout this process.
I heard
it is not
too.
age specific. It's a very overwhelming. You're just like thrown in. And there were many times where I was like, I'm drowning, or like I have ADD and I'm just like too dumb to figure this out. And it's not true. Everyone has a hiccup with something here or there. I would reach out to Bonnie for ticketing help. Sometimes I'd reach out to my mentor just to be like, is this normal? And I'm like feeling so overwhelmed. And you know, it's not like I have a large social media presence. I do not. My other friends that are drag kings have like, you know, 15K. And I'm like, I think I have like 700 followers. I don't know, something very small. But the people that follow me engage a lot, you know, and so like creating that engagement on your social media pages, and that feeds my soul. It doesn't drain me. So like things that, you know, feed you as a performer. I would also say like a really great thing to do is like get testimonials after your show and then post them, or have audience members, either if it's your producer or director after the show, like ask them like, hey, can you just say like one sentence about the show, what you liked about it or loved about it? And if you can do it in front of your show poster, even better, just to create more buzz. Because like I didn't have a publicist, I didn't have a producer, I didn't really know how to do any of this stuff. And you will figure out on your feet, and each show will be a little bit better,
Right.
more honed. And similar to Ben, like every show I kept changing things. And I was very lucky that the techs in my space were
I mean, I will
totally
get
chill
a
with
few. I
that.
mean, I got a couple. I mean, I got an informal performance for some friends, you know, who are going to
Great.
critique it, you know, people that
Yes.
know their shit, you know. It's very
Yes.
funny you talk about promotional, and suddenly I'm thinking you should do a promotional piece of testimonials, and I immediately thought, shouldn't you? And now that I mentioned it, we're all going to watch a commercial, see a commercial in our feed. But you know, the Chinese acrobats who just like market like
Oh
crazy
yeah,
every.
yeah. Right.
The Shen Yun posters, yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like that.
That one.
I I forgot, yes, we totally forgot to mention about the reviews on the site. And so what Ben was saying, word of mouth, really, really helpful. And what Ruby is saying is, yes, please don't forget that people can leave your reviews on your show page. And at the end of every show, you should ask people to leave your review, because then when people go to look at your show up on the website, they can see those reviews. So that's actually very important that you do that as well. And then please leave reviews for other fringers.
Right.
So it's like that same, again, it's just all about community.
Yes, and take care of not only yourself, but also take care of each other too. I know Lois dropped on that in the chat earlier, and it's so important. And I think a lot of what we've talked about today is how much of this is a community and everybody is working together. I'll go to your show if you'll go to my show. I'll give you a comp if you give me a comp. It really is a community. So work together. Thank you all so much. We are 1 minute from time. I so appreciate all of our panelists today for being here. Remember, any questions can go to support@hollywoodfringe.org. Send anything you have questions about to that email. We will help you. Make sure to register by April 1st to be included in the printed guide. And remember, April 20th to purchase your ads and to get your listings all finalized for the printed guide. Office hours start this Wednesday, March 29th at the Plunge, 7 to 10. We're so excited to see you there. Come start marketing your show and get to know everybody. And know that the speed networking events are also available on Zoom for those who are out of town. Take advantage of our supportal, our support pages. We have so much to offer you there in terms of resources and also in the participant packet. Thank you to our panelists, Ben, Bonnie, Ruby, for your amazing expertise today. We so appreciate it. And happy Fringe, everyone. Looking forward to seeing you soon.
Good luck. Now the real party starts, right?